Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now October 8th of 2021. Now, we have a lot of shows to look forward to. We have, of course, The Bad Batch Season 2 next year. We have the Book of Boba Fett this year, as well as The Mandalorian Season 3, Star Wars Ahsoka, Star Wars Andor, and Kenobi, and so much more that will be announced over at Star Wars Celebration by Bob Chapek. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do post a couple of fun and entertaining things from time to time. Now, we're in a very interesting phase right now because we do know that George, Jon, and Dave, given that they are working together as a team, they are primarily focused on marketing the Book of Boba Fett right now, trying to get that all done and wrapped up. By the end of this month, we're going to get an official teaser of the Book of Boba Fett, and followed by that, alright, on November 12th, we're going to be getting that big first look of the show that's really going to give us exactly what Rodriguez is aiming to do with that series. So as of right now, what's really intriguing has everything to do with George Lucas and Jon Favreau specifically, and what they're ultimately planning to do. Now, we already know that a majority of Star Wars Legends is coming back into fruition for the future of Star Wars. We do know that they're taking the highlights from the old expanded universe and throwing it into the new one. And that I do respect, because they're taking aspects from Shadows of the Empire, the Thrawn trilogy, Dark Empire, and all the like. You know, you can see exactly what direction they're really heading in. So the thing that really takes a lot of fans by surprise right now is the fact that they really are working on over a dozen projects. It makes you just wonder exactly, you know, whether or not Jon and Dave are going to pull things off in the long run. I do believe that they will. In a couple of years' time, we're going to look back at this point in time and just compare of how things are going to be so different. So, with that being said, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are focused on their new Star Wars projects like Star Wars Ahsoka and even The Mandalorian Season 3, Jon and Dave are getting ready to promote the Book of Boba Fett before it's released this December. In the meantime, creator George Lucas is doing something big with Jon and Dave to turn Star Wars in the right direction. However, recently George Lucas has been making drastic changes behind the scenes for the Mandoverse with Jon Favreau and what's to come for Season 3 of The Mandalorian, or should I say 4 for 2023. So in case you guys did not know, a Season 4 is in development as well. However, just recently, Lucas made, of course, a significant change for The Mandalorian Season 3 specifically, which is now filming. Originally, Season 3 was actually set to not feature Luke Skywalker's Jedi training temple in great depth. Now, of course, what is actually supposed to feature is his Jedi training students, along with Grogu in the mix as well. However, a recent change that was pushed by Lucas was to use some of the original ideas that they had discussed for Season 3 to become a part of the final version of the show now. The series is set to give fans a big first look at Luke Skywalker's Jedi training temple in the show that will not only feature a scene between Luke and Grogu's training, but also will feature Luke Skywalker's Jedi training students making a big appearance in the series. Now, though Luke's students are not going to play a huge role, it's best described that one scene is set to feature a moment in which they plan to begin filming this scene in January of 22. The scene is set to entail Luke Skywalker ordering his Jedi students to split up into groups to scatter across the galaxy and uncover Jedi lore to return to his Jedi temple. Not just that, but there is one specific scene that is set to take fans by surprise. One of the scenes for the show is set to feature a scene where both Luke Skywalker and Grogu are inside of Luke's Jedi training temple. Now, it's noted that prop designers recreated the melted Vader helmet from the sequel trilogy movies, where Luke is set to sit down with Grogu and show him the burnt Vader helmet, using this as an example of what happens to those that fall to the dark side of the Force, and how it is possible for some to return back to the light. Lucas is said to have pushed for this scene to be filmed and is actually going to be done by this February, just before they finish the show's filming by March of next year. Now, the scene is set to even hold a moment in which Luke Skywalker is set to shed a tear or two, while Grogu is sitting next to him as he examines his father's helmet. All of this will take place inside of Luke's temple, and fans are going to get a detailed look at what his Jedi Order looks like from the inside out. Luke's Jedi training students are said to be in a total of 11 students that, at least for Season 3, Ben Solo is not present just yet. Lucas wanted to connect the dots between how the Vader mask fell into Ben Solo's possession, and that now this makes it all clear that it was stolen from Luke by Ben Solo at one point in time. So I want to actually dive more into this because there are some important aspects that I think a lot of fans need to know. So in Star Wars, canon right now, we don't really have a full answer just yet as to exactly what happened to the Vader helmet, how Kylo Ren really got his hands on that, who found it first. We never really learned all about that. We're going to get somewhat of an answer in Season 3 of The Mandalorian, and you can see how Jon Favreau wants to keep Darth Vader's presence intact. Now, this kind of reminds me back to The Force Awakens, where Vader's presence is intact in the movie in some way, shape, or form. You had the melted helmet, you had his voice in the background in one of the scenes. It's a very interesting dynamic that Jon Favreau is going for. The fact that we are going to be, seeing everything happening before our very own eyes at Luke's Jedi Training Temple. Now, we can all thank George Lucas for pushing Jon Favreau to actually do this. George Lucas really wanted to make this major change for Season 3 of The Mandalorian. This was initially discussed about 3 to 6 months ago, and then they kind of crossed it off the board because they weren't quite sure, what was going to fit into the overall story and how much they could really spare when it came to screen time for other characters out there. So I think that this addition is absolutely stunning. The fact that they are going to be exploring Luke Skywalker's Jedi students and his Jedi temple, everything ranging from Luke talking to Grogu, giving him a little bit of a lesson about the dark side and the light, showing him the Vader melted helmet. I think that this is brilliant. Now, the fact that the prop designers recreated the melted helmet, it just goes to show you that they want to create new props for the show. They don't want to essentially just recreate or use the same props from the movies. So they're recreating it probably to make it look a little bit more, I guess you could say, less dated, because let's not forget, The Force Awakens takes place many, many years after Episode 6, like decades, alright? We're talking like 30 years at least. Now, The Mandalorian takes place just a couple of years after Return of the Jedi, so it makes sense why they would want to recreate that Vader helmet, making it appear a little bit less dated, if that makes sense, less wear and tear on the melted helmet of Vader. So I think that this is a great direction by George Lucas, the fact that we're going to be able to get a first glimpse at Luke Skywalker's Jedi students as well, splitting up into groups and leaving his order and going across the galaxy. This actually matches directly up with some of the leaks that we went over for the Ahsoka Tano series of how we're going to be running into some of Luke's students here and there, and one of which is going to be Kyle Katarn. Kyle Katarn is going to be making his way into live-action form for the overall Mandoverse as a whole. So get ready for that, because we do know that George and Jon, they want to absolutely make sure that a lot of Legends is coming back to life and is going to be revived essentially for the hardcore fans to truly enjoy. And I think that this is honestly a great move. This is a step in the right direction to really get the ball rolling for Star Wars, to say the least. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.